What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is A2D Wednesday night. The Sixers win. The Sixers win. We'll see the Knicks in the second round. We'll break down it all. Let's go.
I mean, how silly is that, man? We're talking about practice.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday, we are brought to you by our good friends over at Baggio's Bread. Go check them out. They got the best stuffed meatballs, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets. They got everything. 10% off. You mentioned A2D Radio. As always on A2D Wednesday nights. Pete Young, Noah Eaton, Chrome, Greg Morakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. All right, let's break it all down, baby. First off, we'll talk at the end of the show. Phillies, hello, little sweepy. We'll get the brooms out against the Rockies. So that's always a positive. I don't care who you're playing. It's always nice to sweep teams that you're better than. All right. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. That's how you get a really good record. Sixers, Knicks. We're going to preview it, break it down because the Sixers beat Miami Heat tonight in the playing game. All right. A playing game that was tough, physical, and we were a little scared early on, it looked like. Like we were scared to take shots. We were scared to dribble drive, right? And look for open guys, right? And penetrate the zone. Look like we never played against the zone before. We'll break it all down. But we'll go forward before we go backwards tonight a little bit because we're going to get right into our poll question. Who's opening fucking goddamn peanuts? Who's opening peanuts? Mm-hmm. Everybody's got everybody's got to mute whoever Peanut Gate is. All right,
go.
Mute yourself.
Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, whatever somebody's opening, it's a big win. I get it. Munch away, but okay. But at the end of the day, we got mute buttons. All right, we got muters.
Jack, can I have some cotton candy too?
Noah, kiss my ass. The Sixers will win the first round playoff series against the New York Knicks. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. And everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. So with the like, subscribe, follow, join the goddamn conversation tonight. Yeah, I agree. I agree for a lot of reasons. We sort of talked about it on Agree to Disagree on Sunday. Okay, the same reasons why I thought we would beat the Miami Heat. One, we're better than the Heat. Okay, that doesn't always mean you're going to beat them, but they brought a dogfight to us. And we answered that bell. So that makes me even more excited. Because if you're talking about a dangerous team, you're talking about the defending, a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You're talking about a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals. So didn't they go to the finals? Right? They went to the finals, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, okay, you're talking about the defending Eastern Conference champions that are coming into your house and they're going to give you a dogfight. And you didn't answer it early. But then you showed us. And Nicky, we'll get into him too. But that's one of the reasons I think we beat the Knicks is because of our complementary players. Guys like Kelly Oubre. Right? When we're aggressive, we're a really good basketball team. Now your question mark's Joel, but he gets a bunch of days off here again. Okay? And you just hope he's good enough because tonight, at the end of the day, he had the most points for us at 23. Right? He had 15 boards. Even in his worst games. So, in a game where it looked like he was either hurting or he was tired. I don't know which one. I'm going to go with like just exhausted, hopefully. And maybe a couple days revs him up a little bit. But their best player is Jalen Brunson. And they're going to go as he goes. And I think our perimeter defense is really good. And I think it matches up well for the Knicks. But they're another dogfight type team. They're going to dogfight you. They're going to be scrappy. So you're going to be in for it. And I like that we're on the road to start. I think it takes the pressure away. I truly do. I think it takes the pressure away. Playing at home, you get pressy. You saw it. We saw it early on tonight. Right? We didn't want to take shots. We were passive. So when you play like that, you're going to get those results. You're going to get turnovers when you don't move. And then then in the second half, the light switch went off. All right. And we started playing good defense. But at the end of the day, we started getting good shots. We're getting a lot of dribble drives. Like our guard play is based on getting to the basket, guys. Get to the basket, right? You create so many things by driving, and we showed it, and we absolutely showed it. And this team deserves a lot of credit, and I think they're going to go in New York. I mean, we have better players than them. We're not a 7-seed team, ladies and gentlemen. We're not a 7-seed team. Just want to clarify with everybody. Again, that's not what we are. That's not what we are. And the Knicks are going to see it. And I can't wait for it. And let's just hope Joel's got a knee and a half. So let's go. I agree. What does everybody say out there? The Sixers will win the first round playoff series against the New York Knickerbockers. All right, we got to go to Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. The Mecca. I love smacking them in the mouth in a big stage. All right, I love going up to New York and smacking New York in the mouth. Let's go take 2 up there before we even come back here, baby.
Oh, yeah.
What do you boys say?
I'll agree as well. I'll follow along. I'll agree. You got to also look at it tonight, too. We got the absolute worst out of Tobias Harris, right? We got nothing out of Tobias Harris. And a guy that's traditionally in the playoffs, at least for the Sixers, has been one of their better performers and one of their more, steady guys on the court. We got nothing from him. And, in fact, he wasn't even on the court in closing time, right? We got nothing from Buddy Hield tonight overall. Right? Very little from Campaign tonight. And we still found a way to win. Not saying all these guys are going to put, I mean, Toby, you expect more out of. Buddy Hield, you expect more out of. But it's those types of guys that are going to help you win a series. And we won a game tonight without them. Right? We won a game without them tonight. And the other factor I'm going to go with is who's going to guard Joel Embiid? Is Isaiah Hartenstein really going to guard Joel Embiid?
No.
So I agree.
No.
I think maybe five games.
Yeah, and I agree with Martian. Before you guys go, I think Nick earned his money tonight, and I think he's going to earn it next series too. But okay, so Greg, you agree? I agree. You say 5, I'll say 6, and you guys can say that too as we circle around the room here. After a big win, is it going to sweep the board? Is our poll question going to sweep the board? Unless I see a ton of people watching over on YouTube right now. Okay, I need you all to pound the like. All right, fuck with an algorithm. Get all our Sixers fans in here tonight after a big win, and let's talk about New York. Who's going next?
I'll go next. I agree to the poll as well. I got him in 6. This is going to be a fun matchup, though, particularly if you're a fan of Villanova basketball. You probably have the 2 best Villanova players that transitioned to the pros possibly of all time with Kyle Lowry and Jalen Brunson. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a fun series. Them not having Julius Randle, I think, is going to be a really key factor. I think the Knicks will miss him a little bit. And there's going to be a lot more pressure that's going to be on Jalen Brunson. I know they went out and got, a couple of other pieces, Anunoby and some other guys. But, this team was built to win in this situation, guys. And listen, they have the best record when Joel Embiid has been in the lineup this season. They're deep. And to Greg's credit to what you said there, didn't get the contribution we needed from some of those guys tonight, but other guys stepped up. You had big moments here. I mean, you had guys missing layups. That first half was ugly. Like missing multiple layups over and over. And I actually thought they came out looking good the first 5 minutes. Like I felt good about it. And I mean, when the bottom fell out, it fell out for a while. But again, your best players started to step up. Tyrese Maxey came in and stepped up. And what can you say about Nico Batum? I mean, absolute stud tonight. Stud. Game ball goes to him. So, and that's the kind of guys that this team has lacked playoff time outside of your star players. And I expect that we're going to see, guys like Nico step up again in this playoff run. So, yeah, 100% agree to the poll. I think the Sixers take it in 6.
Real quick, to the poll, right? It plays right into it. If you don't think you're going to be a roster of Jalen Brunson, who's really good, right? But then I'll continue. DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Anunoby, Hartenstein, Miles McBride, Bogdanovich, and Mitchell Robinson. Okay, if you don't think you're beating that team, then you might as well just go home right now. Right? Just go home. Just go home because you're not going to be. You shouldn't even be in the playoffs if that's the case. We're a way better roster than they are, and that's simple. D Slayer, thank you for the super chat, brother. Said, "What's up, A2D fam? Great win tonight. Chick-fil-A gave a spark. It did. It did. The 2 missed free throws absolutely sparked us because I said before, like we were waiting for a run, right? Like we know we have a run in us. When's the run coming? And you're just hoping it's the night that you look. Then you start thinking, all right, it's a night we're not going to get one. Like out of all the nights, we won't get a run here. And then he missed the first free throw. And I thought to myself, if he misses the second one, we go on a run. Misses the second one, crowd gets going a little bit, run time. And it did give us that spark, brother.
I think that was the key too, Tom, was the crowd getting back into it because it got ugly for a little bit. But man, when they got their free chicken, the floodgates started for everybody.
Oh, it did. And then guys just started getting confident, right? And just shooting. So it was, listen, a lot of things. And we're, like you said, we're going to fast forward and we're going to circle back tonight all in one when we're talking about the Sixers. Noah, go ahead.
With all due respect to the Villanova alums up there that now call the Garden home, I agree with you guys. I clearly think the Sixers are the better team in this matchup. We have the best player in the league right now. And as long as the big man stays healthy, the last time I checked, Patrick Ewing's not coming out of retirement. I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop Embiid in this series. It's going to be a tough series, no doubt. And yes, the Knicks have the home court advantage, but I don't know. I'd have a hard time saying we're going to win in 6, but I think we win in 7. And, I am fully confident that they can go to the Garden and win a game in a Game 7 situation.
Absolutely. I mean, you would hope so. Like I said to you, like I said to all of us, like I would want that game to be on the road, actually. I think there's less pressure.
I mean, the Wells Fargo, the Garden, or in the middle of Kansas. I like the Sixers in 7 games. I think we get it done.
Let's go play there.
All right,
yeah,
Pete.
we'll go to Fog Allen or whatever.
Sure, why not?
I don't care where they play. I really think, I think we're playing great basketball. We played pretty well down the stretch. Most importantly, obviously, it's Joel's health. As long as he stays healthy, as long as you guys as long as we continue to get contributions from the unexpected, like Batum, then we're going to be all right. And I like our chances to move on here.
All right, Pete, what do you say?
Yeah, I got to echo all that. Like, I think you have the best player. Like, Joel Embiid, your team is going to go as far as Joel Embiid goes. And I know they stated a few comments ago that Joel is not healthy yet. This is the healthiest he's ever been to start a playoff series. Like, in the past, he's always gotten hurt at the beginning or in the middle. Like, I like where he's trending right now. Like, I don't fear the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is phenomenal, and he's had a phenomenal season. But there's no one really else on that team that scares me. Ojanobi doesn't do anything for me. Josh Hart does nothing for me. DiVincenzo is okay. Like, they're guys. Like, yeah, they're Nova guys, which is great, but they're just guys. Like, I have 100% faith in Tyrese Maxey to continue taking the next step in his evolution as a player. I 100% believe in freaking Nicolas Batum, who give me him over James Harden any day of the week. Thank you, Clippers, you morons.
Yeah, I mean, Batum shows max effort on the defensive end of the floor.
Especially at the end of the game. Like, you need a stop, and he got it for you. Like, you weren't getting that last season, especially in the playoffs. Last year, if you were down like this, you were not winning this game, especially with Doc Rivers as your head coach. That kind of just shows you what you're getting from Nick Nurse. Like, he is a floor general. Like, that's what he is. Like, you can trust him running the helm. And as far as home court advantage, what home court? They've won 1 playoff series in like a decade. Like, who's afraid of the Garden? Nobody. Like, nobody's afraid to play there. Like, I literally would invite like any like former Nick there to try and heckle us and whatever, because nothing's gonna happen. Like, we get Reggie Miller there doing just to mess with them. And I can't wait to see Spike Lee's dumb face crying and heckling all night long when they get destroyed in the Garden. It's Sixers in 5, and it's not even a question.
Sixers in 5. Okay.
Listen, I'm a Stephen A guy. Like I like Stephen A. He's been unbearable the last 2 days with the Knicks.
Unbearable the last 5 years.
Well, I mean, listen, a couple of things. I think with Nick Nurse, I think his rotations were really good and smart tonight. Okay, and I think that's the biggest thing I immediately took away is that he sort of felt who his hot hands were, and he rolled with who his hot hands were, and that's what great coaches do. Okay, that's what other guys don't. Other guys say missionary. This is my starting 5. These are my best players. Well, your best player might not be your best player on a given night in a big game. Somebody else might need to take that role, and that's what he was able to do tonight. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for tonight's win. Now players got to go play, obviously. Okay, and even Joel at 60, 70%, whatever he is, I don't think he's hurt. I mean, do you think he's hurt or do you think he's tired? Either way, let us know.
Yeah, I think it's gas, Tommy. I just think it's, he hasn't played that much, especially in one sitting, right? You had the couple games, but tonight was the most he's played in one game, obviously, since the injury. And I love that comment about the rotations and Nick Nurse. I mean, that's just as evident as who was on the floor to end the game, right? Essentially, your highest paid player or second highest paid player is sitting there riding the pine for the fourth quarter.
Well, that made tonight.
As he should have been. But it's nice and refreshing to finally see a coach be able to do and pull that string, right? Without having the the head in the your eyes in the back of your head wondering what so and so going to say, how so and so going to react. At the end of the day, at this time of the year, it's all about wins. That's all that should matter.
Well, that made tonight's win even more crucial because you don't have to worry about a second play-in game, and you get Joel a little extra crucial rest before you have to head up to the Garden.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I also think the difference in this year as opposed to last year is you don't have to worry about Tobias' feelings. They don't matter. He's leaving. Like, no matter what happens, like I could not play him the rest of the playoff series. What's he going to do? Pitch a fit? You're done. Once the clock strikes midnight at the end of this season, you're done. You're out the door. See ya. Sayonara. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Like, I'm not worried about Tobias Harris's feelings at this point. I'm sick of him. Like, I've been sick of him for a while. Like, at the end of the day, the best player should play. The fact that he sat on the bench for the last 5 minutes of that game should tell you all you need to know.
Well, it tells you that Nick Nurse has no problem pulling the right strings.
Well, it just goes back to he shot a 3-pointer that didn't touch that literally hit the Walt Whitman. Okay, so at the end of that, he wasn't going to watch that anymore. He wasn't going to watch that. Now, when he had a hot hand early, per se, when he was aggressive early, he was playing. Yeah, right. But obviously, like I said, he went with the hot hand, and that's what good coaches do. Now, when you talk about Embiid, he, even whatever he was tonight, tired, whatever, in the fourth quarter, when we talk about it all the time, right? Fourth quarter is when you know who the best players on the team are or in that game are. And in the fourth quarter, he had a big 3. He had 2 great passes, 2 great looks, right? Don't forget the other 3. Don't forget the 3-pointer on that look. Do I think it was Batum?
Yeah.
Right. And then the pass to Oubre for the 3-point play.
The bottom,
all right. So big plays to put his fingerprints on this basketball game. Okay.
Just have 3 points.
So and he did give these points, essentially, gave us 23 points. So it's not like I think people think like he scored 3 tonight. Like, you're not going to take that? Yeah. His impact, even when he's exhausted, is still better than 90% of the NBA.
And those passes came out of the zone, right? Which they obviously struggled in early on, right? It was acted like they never played, and you saw in the second half, they made a conscious effort. And you mentioned it in your opening, Tommy. They made a conscious effort of dribble, drive, and kick, right? And then the other way you beat a zone is get your guy in the middle of the field, get your guy in the middle of the court, middle of the zone, and work from there. Whether he does it or whether, like you mentioned, he finds the other guy. That 3, though, I think was obviously the dagger. And they brought it up on the coverage. You can't let a guy who can't move hit a wide open three. Right?
Yeah.
You can't let that happen, especially a guy with his confidence that he can actually do it. Right? It's not like you're letting Bam Adebayo shoot a three. You're letting a guy that's going to willingly take and make those shots.
Brad, I might not disagree with that. Brad said if the Knicks had Randall, they would win this series. Somebody said it doesn't really matter they don't have Randall. I think Randall's such an important piece to them because you need that second fiddle. You always need that second guy that you can rely on for production outside of just Brunson. That's why I think the Sixers win, because we have more production than they do. So that's where I go with this series. Okay. If they have Randall, I think the series goes 7. It could be a toss-up. It really could, because that's his impact. Obviously, his impact's at least a game in a series, right? The swing it one way or the other, the swing it their way. But it just gives them another really good score, per se, outside of just having what they have now. And then it makes you deeper when you lose one of your better players.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm not focusing on ifs. Like, how many years did we say, oh, we know so-and-so was healthy. If so-and-so was healthy, this would have happened. Like, we say it every year with all our teams. Like, shit happens, Guys get hurt. You got to deal with it. It sucks, but that's the way the cookie crumbles,
John Malmo says, Embiid driving his shorts early. He's shot by the third quarter, but they have absolutely the easiest route to the Eastern Conference Finals. They play Boston, they lose in 6. Well, the one thing about all this is you get so many days off. So you get days off in between games 1 and 2. And then when you come back to Philly, you get 3. So you get that build an extra day. I think that's so important. I also think taking a train and not flying for him is so important. And I think that benefits us too. So, but I hear you, John, but he was able to turn on a switch late in that fourth quarter and still give us everything he had. Right, boys?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I think Dead Slayer's comment is right on to that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Slayer, for the super chat. He says, and great players find a way to impact the game in different ways. Embiid's presence on the court alone changes the game plan of a team on offense. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Even if he's on, even if he didn't learn how to use the leg yet, like we talked about on shows previously. Okay. So listen, he's going to be fine. Now he gets a bunch of other days off here, right? There's days off in between games. And like I mentioned, there's 3 days off in between games 2 and 3, and it's all train rides right now. So he'll be good. And I think playing's only going to help him. I think in this situation, the John's comment, that he could probably get stronger as this goes.
Yep,
that's the goal here. The goal is the more he's going to play, the more he's not going to be as fatigued. Agree? Disagree?
No,
let us know, baby.
I just think it's funny that like any other player has a 23 and 15 game. We're bragging about it. He has a 23 and 15 game. You're like, he looks a little sluggish right now. Because that's what his production is. Production is 35 and 15 to 17, like point rebounds a game. Like that's the type of impact you're getting from Embiid when he's 100% on.
No, absolutely. I do agree. Like he didn't have his lift tonight. But again, I don't necessarily believe that's as much as the knee, maybe, as it's just as much as he hasn't played a lot. He doesn't have the legs yet. And I think, like they said tonight, him just playing, you can't mimic like playoff atmosphere basketball and getting revved up for it. So I think the more he plays in a series, which he will, is only going to help him. It's going to help strengthen his legs. And he's going to be even better by the time we face Boston. Hopefully we get there. Or by the time we face Milwaukee, say, he's going to be 95%, 90%. And that says, see you, Milwaukee. See you, Bucks. Thanks for stopping by, Slayer. Look at you, baby. Look at you. I mean, you might make me, you might make some of us not be ever have to work again. Keep this up. Everybody else keeps filling up the board. You fill up the board like this, we'll do a lot more shows for you, baby. I'll say that. I will definitely say that. This is what I got into it for. Not your super chats, but I got into it to do a lot of shows. But he says, and also there's no better team equipped to knock out Boston than the Miami Heat. Don't be surprised if that's 6 or 7 game series. I agree with that. They are equipped to beat anybody. That's why tonight is a monster win. We can't look at it as a bad win. First off, Miami and the Sixers in a normal playoff situation are in before the playing games. They're both playoff teams.
Right.
So they just so happen to play each other because they want to expand it, which is fine. I'm good with it. Okay. But you're playing arguably the third, second best team in Eastern Conference when come playoff time. That's what you played today. That's what you played tonight. And you showed a lot of stuff between the legs tonight. There was some stuff shown that should excite this fan base, that should make us excited. I don't know if I want you excited right now, honestly, because then things go south.
Yes.
But we're better than the New York Knicks. And we have I respect Tom Tibbs. I respect Tibbs a lot. We have the better coach. And I'll stand by that for a while here in the playoffs. And we haven't been able to say that in a long goddamn time.
No.
Long time.
And like you said, we're not a regular 7 seed. We're a top 3 seed. They just happened to fall to 7 because of injuries. Like,
yeah, I think that's part of why that win was so big tonight too, right? So I think Miami would be a higher seed. They dealt with injuries this year. Jimmy missed time. Bam missed quite a bit of time. You know, they were scuffling themselves at one point in the year. So it's definitely not definitely not a win to just poo away. This was a big win. This was like a playoff tested type of win tonight.
Absolutely was. It's a game 7 type atmosphere. Even though it's not win or go home for either team, it's neither team wants to play another game.
Yeah, right.
Right. Though.
And it's,
right?
Yeah, like you look at the Miami Heat, Jimmy was hobbled in the second half, right? So they ultimately didn't want to play another game, right? And he might not play depending on how the injury reacts and who they're playing. And especially the Sixers, we didn't want Joel have to play an extra game, you know, and have to have that pressure just to get in again, right? You know what I mean?
Nobody wants to play Boston right now.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be your route. I mean, our route to get out of the second round hasn't been set up better for us. So now it's going to be on Joel Embiid. And like I said, I think he's going to get stronger. Do you guys think he's going to get stronger as the playoffs go on or weaker? Let us know. All right. Chime in, comment in. We see everybody. There's tons of the family in here tonight. And KZ comments in, hey, man, I'm always afraid of the knee coming into play. But here we go. Again, you got to deal with it. So, and San also believes it's a knee, right? Do you guys believe it's more the knee? Or like we talked about it, or do you believe it's more just him getting revved up? That's the scary part. Now back to the poll, which ties into the knee. The Sixers will win the first round playoff series against the New York Knicks. 87% agree right now.
Let's go.
13% disagree to the poll. So as you're chiming in, we got over 50 people watching on YouTube, 14 likes. All right, come on, get it up to 50 likes. Everybody right now, pound the like. Stay with us. Turn your alerts on. Subscribe to the channel. Get us over 10K. We're like less than 70 away. Less than 70 away. Come on, YouTube. Let's go over there.
The other thing we have to also consider, too, when it comes to Joel, obviously I think it's a combination of both. I would go more fatigued than anything. But we also have to remember that the playoffs slow down, right? The playoffs aren't a track meet, as the Phoenix Suns of Steve Nash and Shawn Marion can attest to, right? So, and especially when you're playing against a team like the New York Knicks, right? They're not going to go out and run and gun and try and beat you up and down the court because they want to play defense too. And that's their calling card as well. So we also have to factor that these games are not going to be track meets like they are traditionally in the regular season and stuff like that. So I think that benefits us even more because of Joel Embiid coming back from the knee and working up his stamina.
No, agreed. I mean, you're not going to see 130-point outputs, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be high 90s, low 100s, and, you're going to see a lot of hard-fought basketball on both ends of the floor.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're going to see good defense, especially in this series from the Knicks. They're going to try to play good defense, but they're not as good defensively as Miami is, in my opinion. Right? I just think
and also, who's going to stop Joel? Who's guarding him? Like, who's going to try and take him out of the post? Like, good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Right. I also don't like they're a defensive minded team, but I don't know if they can stop us from scoring 110, 115. Right. That's where I think the series is different. It hits different. Like, I don't know where they're getting their production from one guy. And I let him do his thing. I like, do your thing. Do your thing. Right. Because one guy isn't going to beat me in a series. So as long as I don't let other guys as well beat me, as long as there's not a second fiddle that gets me, then I should win this series pretty easily. Now, I still say 6 games, but because I'll give them games. I'll give Brunson winning a game or two, right? Rightfully so.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they're not as deep as us. All right. And that's where it lies. And they can't score like we can score. And I know it slows down, but we still should walk in the 110 against a team like that. We got in the 105 tonight, and Miami's better defensively. So, I don't know how they score with us. That's the biggest question mark when you talk about the Knicks, on the Knicks side for this series. What's up, Derek?
Yeah, and I think more so, obviously over an entire 7-game series to consistently put points on the board with the defensive prowess that we have on this team is going to be very, very difficult and a tall task, obviously without having Julius Randle on that team.
Yeah.
That's a major hit.
Yeah, you're right, Crum. I think that's where it's going to come back to haunt them, right? Is the ability to score, but also the ability to throw different guys at Joel. Not that he's going to guard him, but he's another guy that you can at least throw at him.
No, and he's got some size. Like, he's got size too. He's not a small guy,
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what's it going to be? Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, right? Those guys. I mean, Joel's going to feast even if he can't move.
You would think.
Yeah, 20 points just from free throws.
Right.
Yeah, you would think. You would think that he would feast, right? That would be pretty common to think that he would feast. Pretty common point of view.
Mixed sports, that's all they have, guys. Like, there's nobody else other than Brunson. There's no one else on that team that does anything for me. Like, I'm not afraid of any other guy on your team. Maybe if you had Randle available, I might worry a little more. I wouldn't be afraid of Julius Randle, but I know his impact. There's not another guy on there that has that impact. You could say name-wise it's Anunoby, but it's just not the same.
Well, you don't have another stud. This is what you say. Does that make sense, everybody? You say, hey, we have other guys, right? Like, everybody has other guys. You got NBA players, but those other guys aren't as good as our other guys. That's the point.
Ricky Council, he's a guy.
I mean, we have got, like what I'm saying, we have impact guys in terms of scoring, and we can get it from different hands. That's the key, right? We can get that 25 game from Oubre. We can get that 30 game from Maxey, right? We can obviously get that 20 game from Batum, right? Buddy Hield has the ability to have a 15, 20 game, right? So you have other guys. You do, right? Tobias has the ability. So you have way more options than the New York Knicks. This is an inexcusable series to lose. It's inexcusable to lose it. To me, you can't lose this series. You are the better team. You are not a 7 seed. If Joel played all year, you're a 2 seed. You're the 2 seed.
It'll be the worst loss in worst first round playoff loss in franchise history.
Yeah, because it'll be the end. That's why, PY. It's the end. You lose the first round. It's the end.
Yep.
It's the end of the Embiid era.
Can't come back from that. Yeah.
No. Can you come back from another second? And you can always come back from that, in my opinion. But there's ways to come back from that. There ain't no way. You can sort of sell that, but you ain't come back from a first round exit, and you might not come back from a second. But I don't think they're getting knocked out in the second round. I think they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and when we get there, we'll talk about that. But I think we're going to shock the world here. I think we're on a little world tour shock, and tonight showed our toughness. I want
to go to this comment here real quick, Tom.
Oh my,
yeah.
So nobody said a cakewalk. Let's
Who said that?
We're getting this right? I mean, people.
I said 7 games for
we got people picking 7-game series here, right? But not having Julius Randle is a big blow on that team. The Sixers got healthy at the right time. The Knicks are not healthy, and that's a big factor. It doesn't mean that Dante DiVincenzo can't have a nice game for them, or Anunoby step up, or they got you guys. There's a number of guys over on that Knicks team that could step up at any point, but the playoff experience is with the 76ers. The best player in the world is with the 76ers, and there's nobody on that roster. There's not many people, if there is anybody in the NBA, that is an answer for Joel Embiid. So, yeah, it's not that anybody's calling a cakewalk. Nobody's disrespecting the Knicks. I've actually found the Knicks to be a fun team to watch. And I do think the NBA is always better when teams like the Knicks and the Lakers are good, because and then the Celtics and the Sixers, because they've always been the big market teams. That being said, they're not the 76ers, not as deep as they are. And the Sixers being healthy at this point.
No, and that's all the point is. Like, is we're better. It's okay to say a team's better. I'm not saying cakewalk. I said 6, right? I said this series goes 6. It could go 7. Who knows?
I guess
right?
if you don't say 7 anymore, and then you're considered being disrespectful and calling a cakewalk.
I had 5. I don't think it's going to be that big of a series. The other side of it, too, is Villanova players struggle in the Wells Fargo Center. They seem like they always lose the big games at the Wells Fargo Center. So come on, Villanova. Come on back home.
Yeah, speak on it, Greg. Well, Josh, listen. No,
Chris Jenkins ain't showing up anytime soon.
Hold on, Josh. You're going to bring up one of their best players. Like, Julius Randle's one of their better players. So, and I know they've been without him for a while. And I know they're tough. And I know they win games. But the playoffs are also different than regular season games. We just saw it tonight. You can see it. You can see the energy difference. That doesn't mean they can't beat the Sixers. That doesn't mean they can't win this series. I think the Sixers are better, and I think it's inexcusable to say the Sixers, if the Sixers lose this series, that it's like, okay. That's what it seems like you two guys are trying to talk about. It seems like you two guys want to go the other direction. You want to act like the Knicks are that good. Get the hell out of here. I watch basketball. They're good. They're tough. They're not as good as the 76ers. Joel Embiid is 70%. They're not as good. And Randall, I think if Randall was here, I'll probably still pick the Sixers, but I'll go 7 automatically. And they're toss-up games. So don't come acting like we give respect. And what goddamn respect that the New York Knicks deserved. We're going to come on this stream, and we're going to sit here and be like, oh, you don't watch them. Get the fuck out of here. All right? I'm going to tell you, knock that off right now. Knock it off. Who scares me? Who's going to keep me up at night? And if you want to sit here and tell me Jalen Brunson's going to keep you up all night, okay. Fine. He might keep me up for 10 minutes. Because I respect him. But then when I start thinking about everybody else, I say, okay, we're good. Night. All right? You knock off the Nickness right now. All nicked up. Everybody all nicked up out there. Oh, Knicks Nation. They haven't won shit longer than us.
Go
ahead.
Where were they when they were picking in the lottery? I mean, what the hell have they done since Ewing retired?
Y'all haven't been relevant since the 70s. Get the hell out of here.
Look, they haven't been to the NBA Finals since 1999, all right, when they lost to the Spurs. And they haven't won a championship since 1973. Oh, by the way, that was 10 years before I was born.
The last time they were in the finals, Y2K hadn't happened, okay? That's how long it's been. Get out of here.
Yeah. I like it. Look at you two. All right, you little
factoids. They were in the finals, it was a shortened season. Am I correct?
Oh, a little factoid again. We got 3 factoids.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't alive in 73.
Oh, you knew that? Okay. Never mind.
Now he's going to pull the I wasn't alive card.
But come on, if you're going to sit here and get scared of the New York Knicks in the first round because they're the 2 seed, I just think you got nothing between your legs.
Well, like Mike was saying he said I think they lost 4. I'm going to fact check that. But
yeah, they owned our ass.
He missed games, Anunoby, so he didn't really play a whole ton of time with them. He played 23 games with the Knicks, right? So Sixers are 32-8 now with Joel Embiid this season. Best record in the NBA. Better than Boston Celtics. And when he is activated on a roster, the Sixers have a better record. And look at those wins that they have, too. It ain't chump teams.
No, I said their winning percentage was close if Embiid was healthy all year.
Yep.
We talked about that on Sunday too. So people don't talk about that. That's why I'm making the series inexcusable not to win. That's all I'm talking about. If you want to say I'm taking shots at the Knicks, then so be it. Right? Or I'm just saying the better team better win this damn series. All right? Because we've been waiting. And I want the Milwaukee Bucks. You understand that? I don't want who Cleveland or whoever the hell else it's going to be. Right? I want the Milwaukee Bucks. Come on in, Glenbo. Come see us. All right?
Oh,
and what's
man.
Giannis' status anyway? Is he healthy? Because I keep getting alerts and I just don't read them.
He's up in the air right now.
Huh?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't care
He
anymore.
might miss a game. It wouldn't be shocking if he missed, 1 or 2 games to start the.
Either way, they can have him, his brother, his other brother. I don't give a rat's ass.
His sister can play. It don't matter.
Sixers and 6 or 7. Write it down. Write that down too, and I'll see you, Boston.
Need some payback.
Johnny says he's old. He remembers that series.
4 scores several years ago, I recall.
Oh, Sixers only had 9 wins in 72. Sounds about right, John.
Yeah.
Another
I sat through a
factoid.
10-win season, sir. I did my time. That's
David Rotzka, longtime A2D commenter, says the Milwaukee Bucks will not pass the first round.
Yeah, there's no Giannis, maybe, but if he misses a game or two.
You go down 2 games, going to Indiana for 3.
I don't know, man. Giannis is.
They got Indiana. I don't really trust Indiana to beat them. I guess they could with Glenn, but I think they're too good.
Hey,
They're too good not-
Q, what are you drinking? Give me
Rick.
whatever you're drinking.
He can cook. He can cook whatever the hell he wants. He can cook chicken. He can cook burgers. He can cook hot dogs. But who else is cooking? Who? Brunson? Or who? DiVincenzo? Josh Hart? Obanobi? No, I'm not afraid of any of these guys. They're not giving you an extra 25, 30 a game. That's not happening. I can get 30. I know I'm getting 30 plus from Embiid. I know I can get 30 from Maxey. I know I can get 20 to 25 from Oubre. I could probably get 18 to 22 from Tobias. Who's your next guy and what's he giving you that's really scaring me? So we have the cook into the chefs over here, okay? Hey, babe.
I don't know. We missed 27 games for the Knicks. That doesn't include his time with the Raptors. He missed 27 games for the Knicks this year.
I mean, the only thing they have is American Gangster and Denzel. That's the only thing in New York that would scare me. You understand that? Okay.
More scared of him than Spike Lee.
That'll keep me up longer than Jalen Brunson does. And I respect Jalen Brunson. All right. Jalen Brunson's a really good basketball player, but he ain't AI. All right. It's not Allen Iverson coming in right, and dropping 50 in goddamn series to take you to the finals. So if you think that's happening, knock it off. OG's a good player, man, but he's not a great player. He's not a star. Right. They'd have no other stars. So, Reek, if you're going into this series feeling confident, good for you. You're a Knicks fan. You should have your poster up and your pom-poms out and Sixers and 6. So thanks for stopping by, baby. Hit that like on the way out, too, for us. All right? Hit that like for us. What did he say? Embiid can't even stay on the court. He's on the court all night tonight.
He was on the court tonight.
No.
38 minutes.
And what did he do in the fourth quarter when it mattered most? I think a big 3, maybe 2 of them. And he had a big offensive rebound.
Crucial and 1 inside
10
2
points,
minutes.
4 boards,
crucial
and I believe
and
an
1.
assist.
Yep.
Good factoid again, Pete. Good fact. Look at you two. I mean, look at you, goddamn two down there.
You guys
great work out of you.
Might be able to take a show off.
Shut up, Greg. He's so overly worked. Look at him. Look at him. Showing up twice a week's really getting to him. Look at this guy.
Hey, Reek, how many games did Embiid play in those games? I just want to throw that out there.
I don't know.
Well, one of the games, the game the Sixers did win was set basketball back about 50 years.
Yes.
Because neither team could score the basketball that game. So,
dude, what do you think? OG Anunoby is like the Kobe stopper? Come on, can we calm down? I don't.
What is he? Prime Kawhi all of a sudden? Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect players and shit, but can we calm the hell down? Like OG
Also-
Anunoby. Like, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper, Kobe stopper. Shut up. Shut up. Love you, KZ, but shut up.
Are we acting like Nick Nurse doesn't know how to stop Ojinobi? Like, are we serious? Like, he coached him for the longest time. If anyone knows what this guy is going to do, it's the guy who helped draft him.
I'm feeling good where we're at. Okay. Seems like the
I'm
family
not
is
worried.
out there too.
The
So
Knicks
we're
are
at 80.
irrelevant.
We're at, let's see here. Where are we at? We're at 88% agree to the poll. Sixers will beat the Knicks in advance. 88% of you. So, all right, keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing out there. Vote in. Let us know how you feel. Comment in. How you feel not only about this series, but how far do the Sixers go? Are you concerned about Joel Embiid? Or late in the fourth quarter, take that concern away from you? That's the question. Like, I was concerned early. Greg knows.
Yeah.
There was a comment said. I said, is he hurt or is he a bitch? That's what I said.
Yeah.
And then he said, Tom, I'll diddy you up real quick, so stop it. And then here we are. Right? But he did. But he told me to shove it. And I love that. Because that's my son.
Yeah.
It's my son. But I don't got time for the, like, if you can't play, you can't play. Right? And I'm glad he was able to turn the light switch on, which we say maybe a quarter of a percent of players in a sport have light switch abilities.
Yeah.
All right. And he does, obviously. And thank you for that, Joel. We appreciate you. That's all.
Yeah, because it's never good to question your best player in the middle of a not win or go home, but essentially a win or go home type of game.
Yeah, we won a game, Reek, tonight with Tobias Harris on the bench. So
He's still better than half
Yeah,
of your
because
starting
you don't
lineup.
have any bums on your squad.
and he'd be the second best player on your team without Randall. So
Yep.
that's all. You
Without
would die
question.
for Tobias Harris right now. Would you knock it off, Reek? Would you knock off your little look at
Kill
you?
for a guy
What
who
you
can
got?
average 20.
You got an ass tattoo with the Knicks on it, with a logo on it. I feel like or you got a tramp stamp. You tramp stamping Nickies on you. Come on, would you knock it off? I mean, I know you gotta love your team, but would you stop it? I mean, we crushed Tobias, but you would max money him yesterday. You max money his ass yesterday, and then
I'm
you
having Reggie Miller ring the bell, game 3, just for you, Reek.
No, Julian, I love when listen, this is built for everybody. Come on in the chat. Like, be a fan of your team, and we love you, and we appreciate the comments, and it's all fun. All right? Reek, what do you – Nicolas Batum won't drop 20 on us. That was a fluke. That's not a
You
fluke.
don't need him to.
What's
Spike
true?
Lee tattoo on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll stop that there now.
Nick Batum won't drop 20, right? And Tyrese Maxey is going to score more than 19, and Tobias Harris is going to score more than 9, and so we can keep going, right?
Yeah,
Well,
like
you need
score
one
more than
guy on your
7.
team that's going to score more than 20. Please don't say Ojinobi. I don't know if he's going to last long enough to score that 20.
we couldn't listen. We couldn't score at all tonight. We shot terrible, right? And then we turned it on, obviously, but we shot terrible. I can't expect to shoot like that all postseason,
no.
Right? I mean, we ended up 34% from 3, but you remember we got hot. We got hot. Okay, 41% from the field. We're usually way better than that. And our turnovers, 15 of them. We were second best turnover team in basketball this year. In basketball, in turning the basketball over. That's huge, right? We turned over 15 times tonight and still won. Still won. So that's even more of a reason to be excited.
Yeah, I mean, we had 39 points at halftime and ended up with 105.
Yeah.
These dudes are cracking me up, though, because they're, like, trying to go in on Tobias Harris, and it's like,
He
listen,
sucks. We know
you
he
don't
sucks.
you don't know Philadelphia sports media because nobody goes harder at Tobias Harris than his own fan base and his own and the sports media here. There's nothing you can say about Tobias Harris that makes us go, oh man, we got to come to his defense. Like, this is like, we're crossing lines now.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Very, very unaware.
Yeah, we're not. Look at us. We're rallying. We're rallying for Tobias.
We're rallying around Toby.
But he's a good player. He's not a max money player, but he's still a good player. And you feel like he can't make a layup around the rim ever. right? And early on in the night.
When he missed those 3 layups in a row, I was ready to put my fist through a television.
I was like, get him out. Get him out. I was yelling, get him out. But, I mean, listen,
it's like you applaud him after around the It's like weird because you applaud the after around the boards.
Yeah, you're right, Crummy. I mean, he rebounds.
Like, look at him grinding. Look at him getting the rebound. But it's like, for Christ's sake, put the ball in the hoop.
It's like a Fisher Price layup for us. You know what I mean? Like I need you to lay that in, babe. But I mean, I thought there was like some sparks from a lot of guys tonight in different ways. Like I thought Buddy Hield came in, had a big 3 for us. That was part of the Batum spark that he capitalized on too. Right? He had a nice transition, a transition layup where he got to the basket, right, and got the goaltending call. So there was some positives from him, right? When we talked about it. And I thought Lowry was like another unsung hero tonight. Like I think his play, we won't talk about him a lot, but he was 3 for 10, right? It's not great, but the 5 boards, the 2 steals, right? You know, so he just played tough. He played tough on Jimmy, and that's important.
Definitely.
What'd you say?
Like that one down the stretch where he kind of like had to dive around the player just to punch the ball over to Kelly Oubre, who drew a foul. Huge play.
I think it was an inbounds play and almost 5-second call.
Yep. Huge play.
Campaign came in, hit a big 3.
Yep.
Right. So there was a little spark from that bench all around. Obviously, Batum did it. I mean, Paul Reed's 10 minutes, he was good. Right? He was good. You know, he was a +3, but I mean, 6 points, 2 boards, a block.
Paul Reed this time around.
You know, so when you get him in that short sample size, he can give you something.
Yeah.
So overall, like we didn't shoot well starter wise, and I don't think that's going to continue. I mean, listen, we're crushing Tobias, but he had 10 boards, 9 points, 4 assists. He was just 0 for 3 from 3. That's what killed him. So, I mean, come on. He wasn't great, but you know, you'll take the 10 boards. God damn it. Right? The Knicks would.
Did it feel like to anybody else that we couldn't get a defensive rebound in that second half to save our lives at times?
Well, isn't that our MO?
And then you look up at the stats, though, and they didn't overly out-rebound us on the offensive end. It felt like they did. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like they got every offensive rebound that they could get.
Especially in the first half.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, I mean, they did offensive rebound us more. I mean, they had 18 and we had 15 offensive rebounds. So in terms of the offensive class, our eyes aren't lying because I said it to myself too. I'm like, this is the same old shit.
And that was Tobias getting like 4 on one play.
Yeah, right. That was half of our rebounds in the first half. It was all on him trying because he kept missing it too.
On one play. Yeah, literally.
How do you get 4 rebounds and 5 missed shots in one play?
It's amazing. That's why he was 4 for 10 and why we had 15 offensive rebounds, all because of the bias. Because he couldn't make a shot, and there we go. No, Eddie, you're spot on. Oubre showed what he showed regular season-wise when he stepped up. In the fourth quarter, he had a pulse. And I thought defensively he did a tremendous job.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Tommy.
Yeah, Greg, we talked about that, right? I know Chrome have. We all have. We've all talked about his impact, right? Pete, Noah, his impact defensively because he's long, he's athletic, and he can give guys trouble. And he's always an energy guy. I mean, Herro did get him one time on a nasty crossover, but that was it. That was it. Everybody remembers that. His ankles broke a little.
At the end of the game.
Yeah, but I think he was huge in causing Herro to not be as effective, right? Herro had a lot on the line tonight too, right? You know what I mean? He coming off injuries. He was another guy injured a part of the year. Wasn't as consistent as he had been for them in the past. So, you know, he wanted to have a good game. And I think Kelly Oubre was a huge factor in him struggling. And, of course, they're NBA players, right? They're going to find shots that they're going to make. But he made every shot that you know, Tyler Herro took very difficult and made him work for those shots.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, he was 9 for 27, right? He was 4 for 14.
I'll take 9 for 27. Right?
I'll take 4 for 14 from 3.
Yes,
right?
100%.
You'll take that all day, and at least it's 25 points. But their bench was their big reason. You know, Jaquez was 6 for 11 with 15 points.
Yeah, I mean, he was good.
Right. Highsmith was 4 for 8. You know, Kevin Love had 10 off the pine.
Yeah,
so I mean, they had a lot. They had some good really good bench production, which really, had them have a big lead early on in this game because we couldn't get stops either. Right? So they just messed us up. I don't think the Knicks are good enough defensively to do that.
No.
I just don't think they are. Nobody's going to be able to run a zone like that against us. That good. That well. You can try to mimic it all you want. But unless you've been running that all year against different teams, you just don't go and put that in.
Yeah, and now the Sixers know that they can't be that bad against it, right? You know what I mean? Like the Sixers now know what their flaw is, right? So they're going to spend the next, 4 or 5 days, 3-4 days, whatever it is, and at least the coaching staff is going to come up with a game plan on how to beat the Knicks when they go zone, because they'd be fools not to, right? They'd be fools not to take something out of this game, and how Spoelstra was able to cause havoc in that second quarter. Right.
I couldn't agree more.
And so they're going to take something out of it, but it's just a matter of how we respond there. Right? It's almost like when the zone got put back in, right? Back in the Iverson days, right? You know what I mean? Like when the NBA put the zone back in, and those teams that did it knew what they were doing, and the teams were so used to obviously playing old school one-on-one NBA basketball that you could cause havoc on teams. Now I think the Sixers know their issue, and obviously you're going to fix it.
Absolutely. And again, the more you play against it, the better you get. And they did break it, right? They were able to break it. They were able to figure it out. So that's the key. Like to be able to figure it out in games big. Right? We talk about that all the time. Yeah. To be able to, you might figure it out after the game too late. But right. to figure it out in game is
that was Doc figuring it out too late, and now you have Nick Nurse who gets it done right on time and makes the necessary in-game adjustments. Yep.
Saturday 6. Let's go.
Saturday 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's great. Nice.
I played 8 and 10, which is nice. Tournament wise, so I'll be home ready to go. Giddy up. You can even get out with the family for a little bit. You can put your fingerprints on some things out and about, and
have a little Saturday. Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot. I don't know if there's enough time.
See how much stupid money I can spend on Cass, because he needs another truck, right?
Right.
So, needs more shit. If you feel like your kid needs more shit all the time, hit that like, hit that subscribe, stay with HUD Radio. We love you out there. These comments, you're flying. And we appreciate it. Let's get to them. KZ, ball handling, shooting, and IQ is the zone's Achilles heel. Well, and driving the basketball. Because you have to find holes in the zone. And the only way you can find holes is by dribble drives. Right, KZ? So all your points are factual too. I'm just going to add on a fourth. Dribble drive to me is the most important part of it. And then you have to, after that, the second biggest part is being able to shoot yourself out of the zone. Say, oh, you want to zone me? We're going to shoot your asses right out of it. And they were able to do that. Well, Nicolas Batum and Buddy Hield with his 3 and Campaign sort of shot them out of it. And then Joel did as well. And then he had a big 3-point play driving to the basketball. And the Bulls are rolling right now, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, did anyone catch that halftime score? I was trying to do math, but I couldn't do it. It was 67-73 at halftime. And we went from our game, right? We went from our game. We had 39 points at halftime. These guys both of them doubled up on us.
Habib, it couldn't be a better landing spot.
Yep.
If the basketball gods were looking down on the Philadelphia 76ers, and they said, listen, we want to give you the best opportunity to have a second round and get to an Eastern Conference Finals. Here it is. Here it is. Now you got to go take care of business. And besides the Heat, it was after that, you had to get through that one. If you were able to get through that one, it's set up perfectly. Perfectly. And here we go. Like I said, you get to these finals, pressure is off. Pressure goes away now.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're almost house money because you got over your home. It is
house money.
And you're playing the big, bad Boston Celtics probably. And let's effing go again, because we're going to beat them too. It's going to be fun. I hope you're all ready for this ride. Who you worry about in the West? You want to start talking I don't want to do that. we got a big series coming up against the New York Knicks, and we got to take care of business. We got to take care of what's in front of us.
Tommy. One game at a time.
Yeah, but we're fans, so we're allowed to not.
But I hear you. I don't really scare. No one in the West really scares me.
No. Nobody outside of the Boston Celtics keep me up at night. That's it. And guess what? I said Bronson keeps me up for 10. I'll give the Celtics 30 minutes. Sixers and 7. Sixers and 7. Porzingis. All right. Let's stop. You know what I mean?
I still draft Okafor over him.
He's still soft.
No.
Soft.
No.
It's wide open. We got to take advantage. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, Slayer, I wouldn't be surprised. He said Jimmy Butler might have torn his MCL. Yeah. And listen, if he did, I love Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's a winner. I think Jimmy Butler's everything you want and how you teach guys to play sports, right, in the biggest moments and have that energy when you cross the line and bring that effort nightly when you play, right, and you get more out of your abilities. And Jimmy Butler's a guy who's gotten more out of his abilities because of his toughness. And guys like that, I even give more respect to and tip the cap even more to because you know he has to work harder than everybody. Make sense? He does. He doesn't have like all the natural, like every natural basketball gift that guys need, right? Let's not act like he does. Besides, he's 6'6", right? Besides okay, you're tall, but he's out of work. He's out of work. So they're going to go beat Chicago, and then they might even beat Boston. So don't be surprised. Nice. Don't be surprised because they're not done. They're not done now. If his MCL's torn, they're done. But hopefully it isn't. For the Miami Heat, hopefully it isn't. And for Jimmy Butler, and my respect for him or any player, I don't want torn MCLs. I'm not looking for guys that get hurt. Even though our guy gets hurt all the time. But I don't wish it upon anybody else. Yeah, KZ, shut the hell up.
Maybe a bruise or two, no tears.
KZ, during that time, I was hurt. All right? When I said he wasn't a top 20 is when he left. All right? All right? And I was trying to poo-poo him leaving us. All right? But I've grown up since then. You know me. You know me, I'll be accountable. All right? And tell you the truth over time. And that was just me. That was me being, I was being petty. Tom was petty, Tom.
Not the band.
But Trae Young stinks.
Trae Young is stinks. He stinks.
He stinks.
You
say things, Mark. You say things. Tobias is better. He's younger. Right? He's
Tobias.
Yeah, you say things. You say things. Imagine Embiid, Maxey, and Jimmy over these years. Oh my God. But thank God for Nicolas Batum, right? Because I've said it for a few weeks now. He's everything that PJ Tucker was supposed to be, and
for half
more.
The money,
and more. Because he does all the right things. He's a winner, even when he's not showing up in the box score. Mm-hmm. You see his fingerprints. He's that good of a player that even when the box score isn't like beating down the door, he still shows up. He's a winner.
Of all the threes that he hit tonight, that tip in towards the end of the game was probably the most important one, right?
Absolutely, Greg.
Well, that and his defense, and he made life
a hero towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. To force that backcourt violation. I mean,
oh yeah, that was huge.
It was absolutely. It was a huge win, and I think it'll go on to pay huge dividends throughout this playoff run.
So there's 153 people watching, 57 on YouTube, only 31 likes. I'm going to just ask everybody again on YouTube, just hit the like, baby. Fuck with the algorithm again, and let's get more Sixers faithful in here, and let's even get some Knicks faithful in here, so we can just torment them.
We got enough Knicks faithful in here.
Nah, there's always room for more, PY.
Yeah. More equals more. Pound it.
Wow, 90 people over on Twitter.
Stay
with us over there. Comment in from Twitter. Don't be shy over on Twitter. We can see your comments.
Send it in, Jerome.
KZ, I've always been accountable with sports takes and as a coach, right? I even tell my players, I hold myself accountable. If I get guys thrown out or whatever the case may be, I'm an accountable cat.
Yep.
I'm not against being I'm wrong. I've said I'm wrong plenty.
I know. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but no, I mean, it should be a special moment. Anytime any guy who comes and does shows, podcasts, whatever, has the ability to hold himself accountable. That's how you get better. But talking sports and giving opinions isn't about getting better. You know what I mean? You either have good takes or you don't. It's almost like a hitter. You can either hit or you can't. D Slayer says Boston might sweep whoever comes out. Well, it all depends on Butler. Slide.
Yeah.
Okay, Wanda says, appreciate it, Kawanda. She says, I'm
There
a
you
Hawks
go.
fan, but I smashed her like. Let's go. Let's go. More people out there. Twitter family. You know, retweet that bitch. Retweet it for a healthy Embiid. You all want a healthy Embiid? Retweet it. You guys all want a healthy Embiid over on YouTube? Like and subscribe, baby. Stay with us. We got something for everybody. We always say it. We got your basketball coverage. We got your Eagles coverage. We got your Flyers. We got your Phillies, which we'll get into before the show's over.
R.I.P. Flyers.
Yeah, they're done.
Chokers.
Sorry, Cincinnati.
Sorry, Maddie.
Yeah, he's on the apology tour, just like everybody else.
I just want to say, I know everyone wanted to kill Sirianni for the collapse. I want to hear the same thing with Tortorelli.
Yo, Moosey.
Yeah,
yo, Moose.
Oh, they're dead.
Yeah, who cares? Until they make a playoff series, until they make the playoffs, I'm not talking about. All right? All right? That's how that works.
Yeah.
Collapse, no collapse. I'm not firing torch. Shut the hell up, Greg. All right? Knock it off. Knock it off. It's like they collapsed for sure. For sure they did. But they also moved some guys. Right? They also didn't get better at the deadline. They got worse at the deadline. You know they did.
Yeah.
So you're gonna fire him. All right, we're not talking about them. We're going to talk about
him. We're
no,
good.
You talk about him. You talked about him.
Oh, by the way,
I just said R.I.P. That's all I
by
said.
the way,
Yeah,
I mean they
we
had
talked about him.
just a little situation. No big deal that happened with their goaltender too. That
Yeah.
They also lost down
Well,
the
Chrome,
stretch.
we knew that, Chrome.
Four
we knew
teams,
that 4 years
four
ago.
teams that are at the bottom of the NHL, they lost to, right? So that
Right,
has
Cromer?
nothing to do with anything.
Cromer
who
knows.
wouldn't pull their goalie with 2 minutes left?
We
You
knew.
know, it's-
We knew
it's like
about
a normal thing.
his extracurriculars. We knew he was a scumbag 4 years ago. So that's nothing new. And it's typical for the Flyers because that's how goaltenders work here. Not scumbags. We just think we have one and it ends up not being it, or rest in peace, Pelly. Just different things. There's different things. But in terms of Melton and Covington, I don't know, Big Moose. I mean, at this point, did they get any time? How much playing time is Rocco going to get missing all year? I mean,
like Melton, I would. I don't know.
Rocco less than Melton, I think, because Melton
Yeah.
brings you a defense. Not that Rocco doesn't, but Melton's at least played a little bit this year, right? Rocco's literally nothing.
Yeah, I thought I heard Covington wasn't coming back for the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think he's done. I think he's done for the year. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think so too. Dubba says Embiid needs this series to drag out so he can get in shape. He looked tired tonight. Yeah, I mean, that's what we were saying. We think it's just the legs getting underneath of him, and he'll get that. He'll get those back, but I don't think he needs a long series. If it's 5, 6.
I hear what he's saying, but you'd rather win in 5 if you can. Get him as much rest as you can.
Yeah, I think tonight does wonders for him for game 1, right? I think you're going to see a little bit longer of the eye test energy from him, and I think you'll see it as the series goes on. I don't think he needs 20 games, right? I just think he needs a couple more dragouts like this, and he'll be good to go.
He played 38 minutes tonight. I think his high before was 30-32 coming down the stretch of the regular season. I mean, first game was 28? Right? That first game against Oklahoma City. And it was only 28 because that game was close.
Yeah.
Right? I bet you Nurse hated putting him back in that game, but we needed it.
Now let me ask you guys a question. When he went down the other night and had to leave and come back in that game, right? Was it Orlando?
Yeah,
I
think it was the Orlando game.
It was either Orlando or Brooklyn, obviously.
Did he look different when he came back?
I didn't pay that close attention to that aspect of it.
Me either.
I don't know.
I'm just wondering if it's that knee.
I'm sure it's painful, right? Yeah, I'm sure it's not. Obviously,
like he was fidgeting with it before the game tonight.
Yeah,
Well, he
when
was
you get it
fidgeting with his
rebuilt
knee,
in
or he's
a
fidgeting with the stupid brace.
3D printer, it's going to, it's going to give you issues.
Yeah, I don't think the knee. If the knee's hurt, then the knee's hurt. It shouldn't be hurt, right? If it's sore, it's a different conversation. But hurt is different than sore. So my point is, like, is he hurt or is he sore? Because the knee's supposed to get better and stronger. It's not supposed to be hurt. So my point is, when he came down awkwardly on it the other night, did he re-injure the thing? Did it look like tonight he was re-injured, or did it look tonight that he just got exhausted?
To me, it looked like he was exhausted.
Okay, good. That's what I'm trying to confirm tonight
tired.
with you guys. Tired. We got another tired. No, I saw you yawn. So was he tired? Or is he hurt?
I think he was a little tired. I've been up since 3:30. I'm a little tired, but onward we go.
Yeah. Chrome, is he tired? Is he tired?
Yeah, I think he's a little sleepy, but yeah, I think it's the conditioning. That's all, and I think he'll get better as he goes along.
I agree. What does everybody say out there? Fatigue. Big Moose says, from the current Sixers roster, who you bring? I can't even talk about that. Big Moose, I love you, man. I can't even talk about next year. Right? I'm on to the New York Knicks.
Don't worry about that next year.
Yeah. I can't even get into it.
Tobias will be back. Watch.
We got to figure out if we're collapsing against the Knicks or what. Right?
It. I'll kill myself on there.
If we lose to the Knicks, everybody's
doing
gone.
this.
MC Sports says, with Embiid, you can't tell whether he's hurt or he's tired. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah, and then he'll still drop 50 without even you'll blink.
That very well could happen as well. All right, so anything else Sixers guys you got? Anything you guys want to dissect before we get into some quick Phillies talk here for the last 17 minutes? They win a big series against the Rockies, as we all know. Not just win it, but they sweep them.
And then they got go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, something's wrong with your mic. Hold on. Bring it right back in. But they sweep the Rockies on to the terrible White Sox, who has 2 wins. How are you feeling about them? Concerns? Positives?
The positive is starting pitching is continuing to do their job.
You guys getting that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on now. Let me try to fix you again. Go ahead, guys. I'm trying to fix his audio.
Yeah, but what he was saying was spot on. No, through the crackle, was praising the starting pitching, and it has been awesome, right? The starting pitching has been awesome. It was funny. My dad and I were talking about during the game, and he's like, "What happens when Walker comes back?" And in theory, Spencer Turnbull is the odd man out, right? But he's been throwing the ball really well, and Tommy, we talk about it all the time. And I think we've talked about it on this show. How great would it be for 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go with it because of how everybody is rolling? Go with a 6-man rotation just to space out a little bit here and there because of how these guys are throwing the ball right now. If Turnbull's struggling and if Sanchez was struggling, obviously you don't talk about that. But because the starting pitching has been so, I don't want to say dominant, but has been so good for the most part.
I mean, it has been dominant.
Year, it's something you have to at least think about.
Yeah, I mean, they have the best ERA in baseball as far as the starting rotation is going. Like who would have expected that to start the season, especially with your back end being Turnbull and Sanchez? You didn't know what you really get from them. But that's like what I said at the beginning of the season. I think your first 2 months was going to go as far as those two guys were going to take you, because you know what Nola's going to give you, you know what Wheeler's going to give you, you know what Sanchez is going to give you. But that was their big Achilles heel last year, because they didn't have a 4 or a 5 for the first 2 months of the season, and it killed them, because 90% of those times in the 4 and 5 spot, it's your Matt Strahm, it's your Bailey Falter, and everything else. And now you have guys you can trust. If you move it to a 6-man rotation, it's going to be lethal. Your starters are going to be more healthy, and they're going to be more rested. Not to mention the fact you're not going to have to use your bullpen guys as often.
No, for sure. Bill, I was just biting my tongue there, because you were the same guy on the other day that said that the Sixers scare you the most. And now you're going to tell me Knicks and 6? Would you knock it off? Would you not grow up, please?
Bullshit.
You just said Sunday Sixers scare you the most out of everybody. And now you circle back because Embiid looked tired tonight and still at 23. That would be even more concerning if I was a fan. Even more concerning. Marcia says here, we get it, Bill. We get it.
You guys got me all right?
Yeah, now
Yeah,
you're better
now.
There we go.
No, but you guys are right about the 6-man rotation for the Phillies. I believe in it because, and one, who do you take out? Because everybody's pitching well, right? So you let guys.
You're not moving him to the pen. That's not.
No, you just go 6, and now you stretch guys out a little. Stretch guys out in a good way. You give guys breathers.
Yeah.
You give guys extra days, and then after the All-Star break, you decide, right? When July hits, right, middle of June, July, then you decide. All right, which direction we going here? Who's going to the pen? Right? Then you make that decision. But right now, you don't need to make that. You go 6, and it's not going to stop. Listen, it's not going to stop you from winning games.
I mean, call me crazy. If you have 6 guys that are throwing the ball well, can you even just wait till September, say, to make a decision? I mean, if it helps you and you're winning ball games and it's not affecting chemistry or anything like that or play on the field, I think it could pay huge dividends to stick with a 6-man rotation, and I think it'll allow you at playoff time. It'll allow Wheeler, Nola, Ranger. It'll allow them to go deeper into the ball game. So instead of around the 5th or 6th inning worrying about going to get these guys, they can get you to the 8th inning, and it'll really shorten the game, so to speak.
No,
I go 6-man until it hurts me. Once it does, then I might shorten it to 5.
Well, yeah, of course. But I mean,
yeah.
Who knows? These guys may really catch lightning in a bottle and continue to pitch really well. I would stick with it. And you may be able to, maybe Rob will be more willing to let these guys throw 100, 110 pitches,
Yeah, as the season goes on.
He has this week. I mean, Noah, sorry, Tommy.
Yeah.
Noah was right at or over 100. Ranger obviously was over 100.
Yeah, he was
Sanchez
a complete,
was right at
complete
100.
game. Maybe it's too early to say this, but maybe Ranger is a dark horse Cy Young candidate.
Oh, without question.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
First we dealt with Christopher Sanchez getting 15 wins.
It's Ranger season, baby.
Ranger danger for Cy Young. I mean, I'm all here.
Hey, it's morphin' time, baby.
I mean, how about it?
Well, listen, if we're trying to win a World
Series.
Can you
imagine?
If we're trying to win a World Series, that'd be a great thing.
Hell yeah.
That'd be a great start to trying to get there with what you already have.
2 Cy Young candidates? I'm good. I can do that.
I mean, you get 15 wins from Sanchez. You get Ranger in a top 5 in Cy Young votes. And
if he gives you 5 wins at this point, I'll be happy.
The bats seem to be coming a little bit more.
Either
alive.
way, the cheesesteak will be delicious,
because we've known, the pitching's been great, right? So now we're starting to swing a little bit, and hopefully the series can carry over because the bats started to wake up a little bit more.
Schwarber's hitting, Turner's hitting, Rojas is over 200. Nothing but good things right now.
Hall of Famer.
We joke about it, right? But over the last week, something obviously flipped for him mentally at the plate, right? Like he's finding more
hitting
barrels,
better.
whether they're turning into hits or not. He's finding more barrels. He's putting better swings on the ball, and he's having more competitive at bats.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing that we all knew he was going to struggle, right? But through the first 2 weeks, his at bats weren't even competitive to where it was like, all right, we might have a real big issue. If he's giving competitive at bats, and then doing what he does in the field, we're good in that scenario, right? You know what I mean? Like that's the switch that happened over the last week, obviously with him working, is the competitive at bats driving the baseball a little bit more than he was, right? And now he's using the opposite field. I think he's turned a corner, at least right now. Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of accepted the fact that, I mean, the bats, when they're going, they're pretty damn good, don't get me wrong, but the bats they'll come and go a little bit.
That's baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a home run hitting lineup.
Exactly. They're going to have a bad week or two. It's just, if that pitching is the mainstay in our calling, is the mainstay, can give us quality start after quality start throughout the year. I mean, I see no reason why this can't be a 95+ win team.
No, you're right.
Nice.
Because pitching, being consistent on the mound for a baseball team is a difference maker, right? It always is, because you're right. Hitters go through ups and downs. It's natural, right? It's a natural ebb and flow of baseball, right? Yep. You just hope to have different guys hot at different times, right? That also helps, okay? Not everybody hot at once and everybody's cool, right? Like we did in the postseason last year.
Yeah.
Right? You sort of want your heat spread out a little bit, right? But you guys are 100% spot on, because the pitching does this all year, and is around this type of performance. This team's a 95+ win team for sure, because they're really going to turn it on, because they're going to hit enough, right? You have guys that aren't even hitting yet. Like Nick's going to hit, even though he stinks right now. He's going to hit.
Harper looked bad today. Like Harper
been looking bad
yesterday, but he looked bad today. But you got guys like Turner who have absolutely been on fire recently.
Yep.
Even though he shouldn't have had in the 2-hole. You know what I mean? But so we have other guys.
Easy there, Eskin.
Schwarber starting to find barrels, starting to lose the baseball a little bit, right? And so they're carrying while and Marshy continues to stay hot. Right, Marshy continues to stay hot.
He's unreal right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's like I've been saying, he needs to play every day.
He's not too hotty right now.
It's nice that these bad teams have come in right now, right? Because it feels like we're on the crux of breaking out as an entire offense, and I'm glad the Rockies are here. The White Sox are coming to town, because the White Sox, I mean, they got Garrett Crochet going tomorrow or Friday. Mike Schwarber, the old Braves pitcher, but he's coming off of an injury. He's been downright terrible. And then some guy I've never heard of, right, on Sunday. So we should feast with Turnbull, Wheeler, and Noah, right? We should feast this weekend.
Yep, and then we go, real quick, then we go to Cincinnati. So you guys know, for 4. We go out west to San Diego for 3, and then we're out in Anaheim to see the Angels at the end of April. And we spend a day out there. Then we go to then we come home. Looks like then we come back home. All right, so we have a little West Coasty after Cincinnati.
Late night baseball.
Those are all winnable series right there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this quite a bit, Tom, last year when we would do Here's the Thing with Mitch Williams. These are the kind of series that could be so pivotal for you too when you're struggling at the bat, at the plate, or if you're struggling with your mechanics on the mound. Having these teams come in, and particularly one after the other for like 2 or 3 consecutive series, this is a real chance for you to gain a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence, work on some things. So, yeah, I mean, this was really good timing for them, because there were some struggles getting out of the gate, but. Seeing Schwarber hit today, really, really nice. As you mentioned, Trey hitting. Marsh has been hitting a little bit the long ball. I mean, they've really started to get some contributions that have supported Bryce, who hasn't looked real great as of late. So, it's been encouraging, and this is a good time for this to happen for them.
I mean, think about it. Bryce has done virtually nothing so far this year other than the 3-homer game, and we're still, 3 games above 500 or what have you. I mean, That's a positive sign, guys.
Absolutely, because he's going to hit.
No, like absolutely,
yeah. Guys, certain guys are going to hit here. I mean, like I said, Nick's going to hit too at some point. Stott's going to hit better. Bohm's going to hit better, right? Harper's going to hit better. Nick's going to hit better. JT's probably where he's at. That 260, 270 range.
Man, maybe even I'll get an infield hit.
Sure, why not?
With those veterans, right? That we used to talk about this back with Pat Burrell, right? You turn over the baseball card at the end of the year, and those numbers all look the same.
Yep.
Right, for the most part. And, like you said, Tommy, Nicky's going to be that way. Bryce is going to be that way. What again, we talk about a lot, and we find most impressive, right? Bryce doesn't take it to the field. Castellanos doesn't take it to the field, right? These guys are continuing to play defense, even though they're struggling like sieves at the plate.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. They don't take it to the field, though, which is good.
It's gonna be a good summer down at the bank.
Yeah, well, it looks like
ball should be flying.
It looks like, I mean, tickets. Ooh, tickets are expensive
for this weekend.
Yep. No, if you want to go to that Giants game, like the next Friday, I think. Hold on, when was that Giants game? I mean, obviously, I'm just Giants game is not next Friday. Never mind. But the next time they come back home, if you wanted to go, it was like I feel like it was like $100 of tickets, like sold out too.
Wow.
So,
a special promotion that night or
no, lights up Friday night at the bank. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then listen, it's a baseball team that people want to go watch on Fridays, Saturdays. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Sundays.
Absolutely.
It's a weeknight game.
They've been drawing some crowds. They've been drawing some crowds. Early on.
Yeah, I think these start times also help baseball too. Baseball doesn't get a lot right, but I do think these earlier start times this time of year specifically. Now, when it gets to summer, I would always start at 7:05. I would bait and switch it. Right? Yeah. I don't know if they do. I don't remember. Right?
Yeah, they want to wait until the kids are out of school, and you know what? It's a smart move. You're gonna get
you get home by 9-10 o'clock.
Right. Maybe. There's a few more parents that are willing to take their 9-year-old down to a ball game on a Thursday.
Sell more tickets. You sell more tickets on the weekdays.
Yep.
Right. That's the difference maker here.
Yep.
But no, they look better. I don't care who they play. Right. They look better. Now they got to finish off this home stand, right, with like minimum 2 out of 3.
Yes.
Minimum 2 out of 3. And then you go to Cincy and you go on the road a little bit, which this team's always been road. On the road, they've always been tough. And they play better on the road sometimes. So we'll see how that goes.
And I'm more of a traditionalist, but I'll tell you what.
No.
I think the pitch clock, I'll admit, has definitely I think it's definitely helped put more asses in the seats.
I mean, it's just made it more enjoyable. Like you don't have to watch. You don't have to sit there for 4 freaking hours. Like I love long baseball games, but like I know I can go out and not have to be stuck there for 4 or 5 hours, especially with traffic and like after the game and everything. It's nice.
Yep.
No, listen, there's no question about like, I mean, I love long baseball games, right? But I also like the speed up. Now, though I think maybe they went a little overboard with it and they could have did it and not been as rushed and still got the point across. Yeah, I think so. But this is what it is. Right. And I'm not going to get all up in arms about it.
Yeah, good players adjust.
Yeah, you want to speed it up a little bit? Fine. I got no problem with it. Right? I really don't have a big problem with it. I think when you tinkered it this year and went even less, I'm like, all right, knock it off.
Yeah,
I mean, knock it off. You did it 1 year. We're cool with it. Everybody adjusted. Now you can go fuck with people again. All right? Like, knock it off, Rob. Knock it off whoever's making the decisions down there. You don't always have to tinker year in and year out. You sped games up. You started games earlier. Now grow up, Peter Pan, and let us enjoy the game. Now you want to expand bases. You want Shut up.
Now you can't
Shut
block
up.
bases.
Yeah, now, you're getting like, come on.
Game would have been over if Bryson Stott would have been able to block that base.
How did the game survive for 100 years, right, without Rob Manfred? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. How did it survive without you, Rob?
It's a question we'll never get answered. Because people weren't.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were still talking. My bad.
No.
But yeah.
Family programming here.
I picked
it is
up
and
what
isn't,
you were
Greg.
putting down.
It's listed on YouTube
Yeah,
and it's over
after,
18.
Yeah,
So, you're good.
Yeah, it's after midnight. What are you worried about?
We did just cross midnight.
Well, that's what we did.
Everyone's a pussy right now, right?
Okay,
That's
well
what it is.
Way to get it out, Greg. Sometimes it's needed to be said. Now, if you said
felt
every
better.
word,
Felt
word, I'll have to remove you. But once
Wilson made it through a whole show.
it was a great show, though. A lot of laughs.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Great show. Tipsy, not even tipsy. Hammer,
Tipsy
Wells.
dude, Dunkaroo.
Oh, eyes were closed.
Yeah. I may have brought a 6-pack or 2 over to your studio back in the day.
Yeah, brother. Listen, you could bring it over here any day too. Any day you want to stop on by, you can bring a 6. You make it 12.
Yeah,
right.
Why not? I'll make it a full case. Fuck it.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. All right, boys.
There's
Well,
no more couches in the studio, Noah. You got to go home.
Yeah.
There is actually 2 down here, so
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Right. Yeah, I remember that song. Oh man, good times.
Yes, sir. Great show. 6 or Saturday night. We'll be talking about it. We'll be talking about on Agree to Disagree. You might even see a live 20-minute following the game. So stay tuned for that. Not sure where. Maybe the Tube, maybe Facebook, but be ready for that, everybody, no matter where you're watching us at. We want to give you a little post gamer, especially after we go and take game 1. It's even gonna be more exciting.
Oh, against the big bad scary Knicks.
Mark says the Manziel jersey is nasty work. PY.
You gotta enjoy the bad with the good, okay?
I want to say this on my way out too. So for anybody that's like an OG of Wednesday nights on HUD radio, I just want to. I'm not gonna name drop. People can do that, figure it out themselves. But the OG, one of the OGs on Wednesday night here, will be returning next Wednesday. So that's all I'm gonna say to you.
Come back and see us. Tune in. You don't want to miss it.
Tune in next Wednesday. 'Cause we'll be up 2-0 in the series, coming back to Philly. So tune in. Tune in, Knickerbockers. Tune in. Tune in. Act like Jalen Brunson say hi. Tune in. He's gonna go for 60 in game 1.
Patrick, he's prime Patrick Ewing.
He's gonna
Little
go 60.
retro AM and the PM.
Yo, there you are. There you are.
Hey-o.
You were an OG of that, in a way.
Half OG.
Yeah, you're like OG'd in because you were in a studio setting.
Yeah.
On AM and the PM.
Yeah.
You were. So you're listed OG. I mean, it's like you know what I'm talking about. You go to church. If you're churchgoers, you know where I was going there.
Yeah.
You got a little blessing. Get a little OG blessing.
You can sit at the table still.
Yeah. I mean, even if you got the 5 minutes in Runnymede, you were an OG. The 30-second studio time in Runnymede before the world came crashing down.
I don't even think
all that time spent, right? All that time and money spent on that garage redo.
I know. I don't even.
Hey,
think
I got the value when I sold the house.
Which is true.
Sure.
And I have a studio. I have a basement.
Yeah.
Like I tell guys all the time, guys, come over and do Wednesday here with me. You know, we got a seat right here for you, baby. Cuddle in.
Sit up next to Papa.
No Diddy, but cuddle in. You know what I mean? That's just to confirm. I don't want people taking it the wrong way. No Diddy, but cuddle on in. Martian, we're not saying that tonight, all right? Knock it off. Oh, good times. All right, boys.
The names dropped in here though. They're trying to guess. We'll see.
No, there ain't nobody in there.
Nobody can guess. Wow.
Not a single
Come on.
person.
Come on, Bill. You don't know, Bill?
Bill is an OG watcher too, so yeah, well,
They were better, but these are good too. These are good too. You know,
it's a different vibe.
It's a different vibe sitting next to you.
Definitely do miss it for sure.
No, it's not Ralph. We're talking like, yeah, there was guys that not guys that were like just here recently. And Ralph's still here. He's just on the back end of some things. All right, just you know what I mean? He's on the handling the shows, getting set up. He's doing some things. So Ralph is still here, but it's nobody that recently was here.
OG.
We're talking about pre-COVID OG. Come on. And we said AM and a PM.
I mean, Jesus.
Gave it away.
That's without saying a name.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have given it out more. It doesn't look like anybody's going to guess it. So you'll just have to be ready for next Wednesday night when we reveal it. So thanks for watching.
It'll be good to see him again.
Yep. I thought you were going to say his
Or
name.
her.
No, it's him. It's fine. We can clarify that part of it.
I just wanted to get their juices flowing, thinking that maybe Lindsay was coming back, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Fired up in the chat when they think that.
Linz can come on anytime. Linz is the best.
Absolutely.
Bill says, oh, Billy boy, you got it, baby.
Hey, Billy.
Did you get it, Bill? I feel like you would get it. You've been here a long time. And we've had our go around. We've gone around the merry-go-round together. We've said some things, right, Bill? But that's why we're family. That's why we're family, Bill, because we can say some things. And here we are. Here we are again.
Breaking bread.
We're bread givers. So next Wednesday night, the return. And we'll be here. So we'll see everybody next Wednesday night. This was HUD Wednesday nights. Only on HUD Radio on your way out. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation. As always, on the way out, tell a friend. For Pete Young, Noah Eaton, Cromer, Greg Milwakovic, everybody out there, we love you, appreciate you. And Baggio's bread, you're the best in the business. Go check them out. Google search them, baby. Baggio's bread, I'm telling you. And get on in there for 10% off. All you got to do is say HUD Radio. It's well worth it. We out. Go Sixers in 6. Phillies sweep the White Sox. We'll see you next Wednesday. Up 2-0. We out.